Hello everybody, how's it going? This is Guilherme Randley here one more time. And fala tudo de menor, como é que tá sendo o seu 2020? Galera, eu espero que maravilhoso. A gente vai começar mais um ano com esse podcast. E como vocês sabem, a frequência dos vídeos andou caindo, mas o ano de 2020 é o nosso ano, é o ano da mudança. And I promise que esse ano vai ser um pouco diferente. Eu já tô com um cronograma de vídeos, eu já tô com um cronograma de podcasts, então eu vou tentar fazer isso o mais semanal possível para que a gente tenha uma frequência. Lembrando que a gente já tá com os nossos 700 inscritos e muitíssimo obrigado por participarem dessa meta. Foi realmente algo fenomenal. Eu estou muito feliz por ter alcançado esse número em tão pouco tempo e isso se dá a vocês. Lembrando que esse projeto do canal Guilherme Randley aqui no YouTube só é possível porque vocês estão me dando todo o suporte que eu preciso, sempre compartilhando, se inscrevendo no canal, dando os likes e etc. Então, dá aquela forcinha pro pai, se inscreve que é de graça e vamos pro cast da semana, SMR, right? Alright folks, so today we are talking about a very good topic. As you can see on the title of this cast, today's time for English as a global language. It's also important to remember that there are some curiosities about the English language. And did you know that English is not the official language from the United States? Probably no. And that English is not the most spoken language around the world officially. That's it, friends. That English is a worldwide language, everybody knows. But the thing is, how many countries around have it as its official language? Well, according to the first website I saw, 67 countries are recognized to have English as an official language. But for sure, we know that there are other countries that speak English, but don't have it as a mother tongue. But you might say, "Oh, Guilherme, there are a lot of people in China speaking Chinese. How can you say that English is the global language?" Because people in China also speak English, duh. And I'm not only talking about China, friends. If we check about the number of countries that have Spanish as an official language, for example, we tend to think that they are on the third place of our rank. But they are not. Spanish is the fourth language below Hindu. But as in America, we do not know anything about Asian culture, or poor knowledge led us stuck into this fake reality. So, as you can see, Spanish is not the third most spoken language in the world. We have Hindu, nasty, or something like that. If you browse it on the internet, you're just gonna say that it's not the third. Spanish is the fourth. But we don't know that because it's not important, for sure. In my poor opinion, English is and it's still being one of the best options of languages to learn, since you can communicate to a great part of the world, even though they do not have it as an official language. For example, last time I've been to Colombia, I traveled to Bogota, and there I had to communicate a lot. My Spanish is not that good, and I'm not that comfortable while speaking Spanish too. And then I went to an attendant, and I wanted to ask them something about, I don't know, maybe food, or maybe the flight time. And then, when I was there discussing to that boy, he couldn't understand my Spanish. I remember that I say something like, "Buenas noches, Tico, ¿cómo estás? Me gustaría un..." And then he said like, "¿Qué?" And then I said like, "Oh gosh, can I try that in English?" And he just looked at my face and he said like, "Yeah, just shoot. I think it'll be better." And then I had to communicate in English and he understood me. At least he pretended he did, but he, I had my food and we ate and it was good. His name is Raul, probably. Well, another experience that I had was when I was a teenager. I used to play a lot of MMORPGs and I talked a little about how it helped me on my English learning process in another podcast that I'm gonna link it here on the cards. And in this moment, I was the leader of a team. We used to call it Guild. And the game was called Precisarem. I was one of the generals, one of the commanders, one of the bosses of the company. We didn't make any money for sure, but And then we were there fighting for we had some competition, so we had to fight between other teams and etc. And I remember that I lead a group with almost 30 people, and those 30 different people became from different nationalities. And for sure, I was the only one that speak Portuguese, and we had people speaking Spanish, people speaking French, Chinese, and whatever. And then we had to use a global language, and English was for sure the best way to communicate. So since I've been in touch with the English language, I know that it's been helping me a lot to communicate to different societies, to communicate to different people. And I'm totally grateful for this gift that I have been given, because learning and speaking a new language, a different language from the one that you are in touch since you were a kid, is something really pleasing. So folks, for you that is planning to start doing it, for you that is intending to have something new in your life, I really recommend studying English for a new goal, because for sure it'll open a lot of doors in job, school, and relations, and etc. So if you don't know how to do it, we have a lot of tools on the internet. We have a lot of ways to study, a lot of ways to prepare. If you want, you can just check here on my YouTube channel that I have like a lot of videos giving some tips about it. We have some free websites that allowed us to study and to prepare. And if you want to have some private classes with the teacher here, you can just talk to me. I'm gonna leave the Instagram below, and we can just talk and communicate, and then you're gonna be one of my students, right? So my little friends, that's everything we have for today. Thank you very much for listening to here. Yeah, I promise that I'm gonna keep shooting the videos and podcast, and I'll try to do it more frequently. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to share it, and I'll leave a question in the end of this podcast to see who is listening to here. So the question for this podcast is, why do you consider English important in your life, and how do you think it will change your future? Alright, so that's everything. Thank you very much for being here. Goodbye, see you later. We are gonna have more videos. Bye bye, subscribe, kisses.